Welcome back to War Thunder. Welcome to the first video of patch 1.69, and it will be a crew guide. Now, I have played a little bit of the patch so far. I like it so far, but I'm far from a final verdict or even first impressions. I kind of have to re-establish a sixth nation, the Italian nation, and this is a very big event. This is the first nation in 4 years, with the Pony Nation for the first April event 4 years ago. And I will run you down first of all for a aircraft crew guide. Now, most of the principles can be applied to tanks as well. So you have 3 basic slots, crew slots, aircraft slots rather, and the crew is bound to the slot. The aircraft, not really. You always can switch the aircraft between the crews. For the first time it costs you silver lines, also upgrading maybe for silver lines or even golden eagles. And what should be clarified here. So first of all, those 3 slots here are the ones you get. Then you get a 4th that costs 10,000 silver lines. Bit slow today, my PC. Yeah, and then the 5th costs 50,000 silver lines, and that is an investment everybody, premium player or non-premium player, should do. And now we come to the 6th slot, which costs 200 golden eagles. You will keep this slot, of course, for all eternity once you have purchased this slot. So that is the 6th. The 7th costs 500 golden eagles, and the 8th one costs 800. After that, it costs 1,200 golden eagles, and so on. So it gets more expensive the more crew slots you get. But I think 8 is more enough for not just aircraft in arcade, but also in RRB. You just need one. Enduring confrontation as well, if you will see it in the future, or the World War mode, or also combined battles once we see Italian tanks. This also applies to any other nation in the game. And yeah, this is how it is. Then we come to the crew and their abilities in the first place. So I have played a few games with the biplanes. I got, before we go to the crew abilities, I got the CR32 BIS and the G55S both gifted from Gaijin, as well as a good amount of golden eagles, and I will use this for this crew guide. So first of all, let's look at the G55S. And as you can see, I have no crew skills whatsoever. This is the repair rank one, and the one gunner is here by default, and also the qualifications are like that. So what is what? Every person that is involved with an aircraft has different skills that you can and have to master. The pilot, the gunners if you are in a bomber, the logistical services if you want to rearm, repair in RRB for example. And then there's one very important thing, that is the qualification. It's not necessary, but I think it helps a great deal. So the pilot, he has keen vision. That's the first skill point, skill thing. And you can see that we have 5 different stages here. And I have also done accelerated training here for Golden Eagles to convert Golden Eagles into crew experience points. And for 1,000 golden eagles, you get 17,500 crew skill points. That is a hefty amount, and compared to lower amounts of golden eagles, you save yourself something. I did this for new nations with my own money before, and now I do it here as well. So I did this already with 1,000 golden eagles, and we will see how far we come. But hold on, here is the first decision. This is a fighter. So gunners are not important, yet they are. That might sound really complicated, but it isn't. As well as the logistical services. So The keen vision is the line of sight detection, the detection range against the sun, which is different and which is kind of realistic, and the look down detection range. That is very important. Now here you can see in the middle the total. This is what I have right now, which is the exact same as the base. Then you see this yellow bracket here, and that is the effect of the crew skills, and we will see the effect in a few minutes. And then this strange gray star, and that is what I want to work for with my golden eagles here, which sounds again strange, but it involves silver lines at first. Then you see the top. This is the maximum that you can achieve with a fully skilled crew, with also all kind of upgrades crew-wise. So that is the keen vision. Let's make 1 point and apply. And we can see when we have a look at it that now things have changed. From the base 5.2, we went up to 5.72 kilometers of line of sight detection. And that is 5.2 plus 0.52. Now that at first is not a huge amount of difference, so let's go for more. And we can see that the costs of new skill level increase. The first step is 15 and the second one is 145. And it goes by a half. This is something that I forgot. So the first half here is 15. After then it costs 50, then it costs 90, 145, 195, 340, and so on, up until the last point, which costs 600. So automatically you could see this can become very expensive very soon. So what do you need for what? And the trick that I use basically is to go for the first and the second row with everything to get then a crew level. So you can see here one yellow bracket here is equal to 1 crew level. And with the qualification we can see crew level required 20. Currently we have 2.5. And that then gives you the option to buy the expert qualification for silver lines. So let's go for it. I just, regardless of the skills that it costs, that is the first lesson, I go for it because the first crew skill point is obviously by far the cheapest. And when we go for apply, we can see that now we have 15. That's not enough. And while I have a huge amount of crew XP points left and could potentially go for third crew, I hope that I also could here show you it for ones that just want to invest maybe just 100 or 200 golden eagles, if at all. Again, playing for it takes a while. So again, what is what? Keen vision is when that affects the direct line of sight. So if you personally look out of the aircraft or in third person view, you look at a certain direction. And then it depends if you look at in a normal line or if you look into the sun, you know, the hun in the sun, as the British said. And then also if you look down, this is something that affects, for example, ground attackers in RRB, which allows you to sneak by the enemy. Awareness is just simply if you look not into the direction of the enemy and he suddenly sits on your tail, then he gets noticed on the radar as a red dot. This is the awareness. Base is 520 meters and 1040 meters is top. Then the chi tolerance is which kind of amounts of chi your pilot can tolerate, and that is very important. So especially in turn fighters or in a sustained turn fight, or when you pull out of a dive in order to prevent crashing into the sea or a mountainside, for example, this helps a great deal. So when you apply more cheese to the pilot than he is able to sustain, he will begin to black out and ultimately lose control for a few seconds, and you want to avoid this. The same goes for positive cheese, so if you pull up, and negative cheese if you push down. And again, you see here the difference. You ultimately can practically never reach the same negative chi tolerance as positive chi tolerance. And again, that is very important. It's not very important, for example, for bombers and yeah, heavy fighters, not really. But for turn fighters, it is very, very important. Or for jets, which go very fast, and then even the less maneuverable ones can achieve over 10 Gs most of the time. Then the stamina tells you how long you can sustain Gs that went over the tolerance. So if you apply here, for example, I can tolerate 5.7 Gs upwards, and now if I apply 6 Gs to my aircraft, the pilot will begin to fade out. And with this stamina return time, I can, if he got blackened out, I can lower the return time to 2.5 seconds for a fully upgraded ace crew, and the stamina loss time I increase, so the pilot is more durable, so to say. And it is again a difference for positive and negative G. Vitality is a skill that is hard to describe. Basically, it's the amount of damage your pilot takes. Now, if your pilot gets hit by a, I don't know, 75mm armor piercing shell, he will be dead. I think this is here it stands for a novice pilot. The second 303 bullet hit will be deadly, and with that you can at the end of the day you can survive even a 50 cal hit. This also is for example with bombers that have no armor, which are in the which are exposed to AAA fire. They then can survive more, which is very important because some planes are much more vulnerable than others. And for gunners, now first of all, this is just important for aircraft that I'm sorry, that have gunner, and this does not affect if you take over the controls. So you do not get more precise when you upgrade this if you shoot yourself. So number of experienced gunners is, the maximum is 10. So again, it's the default one is 1, so it's just half one. Then again I upgraded it, and the top is 10. So again, we will probably never see a plane that has more than 10 gunners. And then you can upgrade the fire accuracy. That means first of all the firing range, at which point the AI gunner opens fire. Then the target tracking range, which is a bit further out, over 1 kilometer, where the gunner begins to turn the turret, for example, which takes a few moments. Then simultaneous firing and target tracking probability, that is practically the same as with tanks with targeting. And the targeting speed is also if the enemy whizzes by too fast, the gunner cannot track him with gunfire, even if he is very close by, because he just changes the angle compared to your aircraft too fast, so the gunner can't follow it. So you can improve also that. Then maximum burst duration. That is also very important, because if the gunner just makes the effect is not very big, so he has to shoot for a longer burst. The maximum is nearly 1.5 seconds, and the stock duration is 0.83 seconds. Fire precision, again, is how precise the gunner practically is. Then G tolerance, again, if you like to maneuver with your bomber a lot when you are under fire. This is very important for active bomber pilots, not so much for bombers that fly in a straight line, which you should generally avoid when you're under attack. Again, stamina, it's the very same as for the pilots, as is it with vitality. Again, this is probably a very important skill, because that actually affects if your pilot survives or not. And if your gunner is dead, you can't shoot with that turret respectively. So this is, in this respect, the only skill that is important even if you want to manually fire. Logistical services, that is the repair speed, both first of all on the in the hangar if you don't select auto repair, which I personally would recommend all the time, and that goes down from 1.1 day and 3 hours now down to 9 hours. Minimum on airfield repair time is then from 30 seconds space down to 10 seconds, and that is a great deal, especially when you land and somebody wants to strafe you. You then get repaired and can bail out to survive that strafing run. The repair rank is very important, because if you don't have so if your crew doesn't have the repair rank of the aircraft, in this case the G55 is a rank 4 fighter, so you need a repair rank of 4 in order to then get the effect of the repair speed. If you don't have the necessary rank, your crew will not repair the aircraft faster. Then the reload speed, especially for arcade with bombers or for on the airfield, this is also very important. So yeah, this is important for arcade. It's most likely very important, especially with bombers, you know. Then weapon maintenance, and that is very, very important. A lot of people underestimate it. That is 93.33 probability. The base is 100, so again I lowered it a little bit, and the best is 33.3. Then bombing scattering at 1000 meters. So if you're at an altitude of 1000 meters and you drop the bomb, the base range of you missing is 35 meters. And especially if you want to do a precise bomb drop with a rather small bomb, this is a very big difference. Same goes also for rockets. So the rockets get more precise the higher your weapon maintenance skill is. So all those things are very important, but we still are not there with the qualification. First of all, let's just redistribute more points here. Let's go for just 2. That was a bit too much, and I leave gunners out here, just again to go with the more or less minimal. And now we can see that the basic thing can now be replaced with the expert qualification, the basic qualification with the expert qualification, and it costs 310,000 civilians for this specific aircraft. Let's purchase it, and we can see that there were some green numbers. First of all, we now can research the expert crew via playing or via purchasing it for gold, but then we again need a crew level of 40. So again, now it is the decision if we purchase more of the relevant crew skills or the rather irrelevant. Remember, this is a fighter, and this is more relevant for bombers or heavy fighters or aircraft in general with a gunner. So let's go for the pilot in this case, and unlock the third skill row, so to speak, and also update here the logistical one, and we can see that now we are at 33. But now the costs are very high, so go for the repair rank. That is important to again go for the repair speed for the G55S specifically. Then unlock the gunner skills because they are much cheaper, so you get more out of your plane. And now we can see it's 33 plus 7. Apply, and voila, we have 40. And now we can unlock the expert qualification for 700 golden eagles, or we can just play enough and up until the point we reach stage 1, where the price drops to 350 golden eagles, stage 2 with nearly 600,000 research points, where it drops to 175 golden eagles. And at the third stage you actually get it for free, and I did it with some tanks and nearly with some aircraft, so that actually works. Whatever you do is up to you. I probably assume that for the G55S This is a premium aircraft. You want to fly it a lot to get the most effects out of it. But for aircraft, I have to say the most important thing is that you get the expert qualification, because then it gives you nearly to every crew skill +3. And you achieve this much earlier than with just trying to get it with the playing the plane, even with premium account and with boosters and so on. I'm not quite sure if boosters actually... No, I don't think boosters accelerate the crew XP points rate. So you have now 3 + 3. Now let's have a look, and let's have again a look at the parameters. Line of sight detection range is now at 8.32 kilometers. That is a significant difference compared to the 5.2 base range. Still, the planes would be rendered but not red boxed. That is a difference, okay? So we can also see that 5.2 plus 1.56 kilometers for the crew skills, and again 1.56 for the expert qualification. If now we would go one higher, then we would see again what the additional benefit would be. So this crew system right now in its current state is actually pretty accurate and tells you the benefit even if you have not applied the thing, your amount of crew XP points. So that is very important. So how many Golden Eagles do you actually need for one crew? I'd say in general 1000 would be enough. Now a final note here that I will show you in another tech tree, for example the Germans. If you go here for the crew, you can see if you now are with ground vehicles. Not a surprise, I have the Tiger II HSLA 16 selected. So yeah, I have a crew level of 125, so I could actually purchase here my tank via spending Golden Eagles. And yeah, you can actually see here the progress if you have played a vehicle a lot. After you have achieved the ace qualification, you will no further gain any benefit for the vehicle. So there's that. But you have this crew XP points still lying around. What can you do with them if your crew is technically fully upgraded? So it's very close to. I personally think that I will not benefit more, because I can also spend it now on air vehicles. So if you gain crew XP points with playing a tank, for example, you also could spend on the very same crew slot on another vehicle type. So aircraft or tanks, it doesn't matter. For each vehicle type you have to retrain the crew basically. Now one benefit that I like very much about War Thunder compared to other games is that you keep it. So let's have a look at the Tiger II HSLA 16, and you can see I have here my crew experience set up like this. And now I will switch the vehicle to, for example, an HE111 H3. And yeah, I now switch the vehicle on this crew slot. But now I could switch it back. Let's go for army. Let's go for the tank again. And I have no penalty from switching around. Obviously, this helps a great deal. But if I want to, for example, if I want now to go with the tank for another... So I double clicked here on the Tiger. And then it pops up my crew lineup here, which is very friendly for mass use, so to speak. And it tells me here that I have here a place already reserved for the Tiger II HSLA, where he actually already has the crew, the expert crew qualification. But let's say I want to put him on this slot here. Then it would cost me 10,000 silver lines to retrain it for the base qualification. Let's do this right now. And then you can see that I do not have the green numbers again. So again, I have to retrain the basic training, and then the crew skills of that specific crew actually are there affecting the tank's performance on the battlefield. But then I also have to really fully go again to the expert crew via playing, which costs 1.24 million research points, which is quite a lot, I can tell you. So then we exchange it again, and we double click on it again, putting it on the old crew, and now we can see that we are back with the amount that we have. So you lose nothing, and that is a system that I really like. So, and that's basically it. But at this opportunity, we also could look at the qualification for ground vehicles, and we have more numbers here, because logistical services are repair speed and repair rank. That's the very same with aircraft. The driver of the tank now has different abilities. Again, the key vision is here in combination with the other crews, like is the field repair. And those are best distributed between the driver, the gunner, the tank commander, tank loader, radio operation gunner. And then also you benefit greatly in a tank from the expert qualification. More, in my opinion, than from aircraft. But that's just my personal opinion. So the keen vision at which a tank gets detected, or an aircraft gets detected. Field repair is an average time of you repairing damaged modules when your crew is complete. So if your crew goes down by, you have 6 crew members, 4 gets taken out, you have a much longer repair time in a tank than with a full crew, which is quite logical. Agility is the crew member replacement time, so you can drop it from 14.17 base duration down to under 10 seconds. And that is the difference, for example, if another tank can shoot you again before you can, for example, bring back your gunner into the place. And again, the vitality is also important, same with aircraft gunners and aircraft pilots, but in this case it depends on how much shrapnels kind of your crew members can absorb before going down. And also tank driving is very important because of first braking time, which is not that important, but the gear shifting time is very important, especially if you're driving on a slope, if you're driving with a tank that has low horsepower to ton ratio, for example, then this gear shifting time is very important, especially for light tanks in the other extreme. The gunner then, again, keen vision, field repair, agility and vitality is like with this other thing, with the driver and all the other crew members. Those first 3 skills, again, equally distributed between the crews, so it's more effective to go for 2 skill brackets for each crew member than going for 5 and 5 and then no more on the remaining crew members, because it's cheaper. And this also goes down if your driver gets taken out with the full crew skill, then you drop that, the full crew skill. Same goes for field repair. Agility is, funnily enough, also if the affects also the dead crew member. So it's between the person that replaces him and the dead crew member. So if your gunner gets taken out very often, then I recommend you training agility as well, and also vitality. But it doesn't help against direct hits, I have to stress that out. This is more against shrapnel effects. Then for the gunner we also have targeting, which is very important because you're more precise with your shots, and also it affects the turret rotation speed and also the gun lifting speed, so that is very important. Then also range finding, that is then more for if you really press the range finder or you're playing in arcade with the aim marking helper. Tank commander That has the first three same crew skills, vitality as well, and then the leadership. And now you can see here the difference. Leadership is not affected by that. So the leadership you really have to train. This is for the commander the most important skill. It increases the overall skill of all the other crew members. So it's for Wall of Tanks, it's practically brothers in arms for the tank commander alone. If the tank commander gets taken out, you lose leadership. If you require maximum crew skills, you should think of healing the commander. Then also the tank loader. Weapon reloading is probably the most important skill, no doubt about that. The radio operation gunner is not that important, but again, like with the gunners on a fighter crew, you can increase the base survivability of the remaining crew for a minimum amount of new skill levels. So I think that is everything that I need to cover. Obviously, it depends what you kind of focus on for which tank. Then you have to think about if you want to train a universal crew for both aircraft and tanks, which is very inefficient, or you focus a crew just on a tank and just on a plane if you, for example, play a lot of combined arms. Furthermore, always go for the amount of crew level that you need to, or the qualification to get the expert crew. It costs you a lot of silver lines, I agree, but at the end of the day, it repays itself, in my opinion, especially with tanks. Not so much with aircraft in comparison. And yeah, that's it. Again, you then have, if you choose a tank, if you choose to train a crew fully for a tank, it also depends if it is for a heavy tank or a light tank. For example, the crews with ground vehicles for a light tank, the tank driving skills, the tank commander, and yeah, with the leadership is more important than repair, repair. Because if you get tracked in a light tank, it's most likely your death anyway. So that's it for me today with this kind of basic crew guide for now aircraft and tanks. I hope I could clarify some things. If you have further questions, let me know in the comment section. I hope you liked this video. If so, please give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and we will see each other in the skies and on the battlefields of War Thunder.